You'll remember this video where Bill Maher mercilessly tore into Kaitlan Collins and CNN.
Conservative in America, and I'm watching CNN just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes. It's great, and then Lonely Scott. It does look, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as...
Well, it turns out Maher's war with Kaitlan Collins is far from over. These two media titans have been trading blows for weeks. And honestly, I get it. Kaitlan isn't just a journalist. She's a smug, self-righteous attack dog on a mission. And that mission, get Trump out of the White House. She won't stop. She won't rest. She won't blink. She's got one goal. And if she has to twist the truth, play dumb, or act like she's the ultimate moral authority, so be it. Think I'm exaggerating? Oh, you're going to want to see this old clip.
Question, Kaitlan, you would ask VP Harris if you had the chance.
I would have a lot of questions for her, but I do think I would ask about, where she stood when she was running as a candidate and for the 2020 Democratic primary and where she stands on a lot of issues now. She's criticized a lot by Republicans for reversing her positions. I think also, Donald Trump has reversed a lot of his positions from covering those. But I think I would be interested in her evolution and where her instincts are and what she learned from governing with a moderate.
To set the stage for what was coming, Maher asked Kaitlan what she would have asked former Vice President Kamala Harris if she had the chance to interview her. Simple question, right? But somehow Kaitlan managed to steer the conversation straight to Donald Trump. Trump isn't just a talking point for her, it's an obsession, a reflex. The man could be thousands of miles away minding his own business, and Kaitlan would still find a way to drag his name into the conversation. Why? Because Trump is her trump card, the golden ticket to riling up her audience and keeping the anti-Trump hysteria alive. But Maher saw it coming from a mile away. He knew the game. He knew Kaitlan was just waiting for an excuse to unleash her venom, to turn the conversation into yet another anti-Trump TY rod. But this time M flipped the script. He outsmarted her, caught her off guard, and shut down her little routine before it even started. And let's just say Kaitlan did not like that.
It's ABC debate.
ABC debate.
If it happens, I still think it's an open question.
Really?
Trump's going to go. He's got to.
You think Trump is going to pull out?
I think Trump is nervous about it. I think I talked to a lot of sources in his world. I think he has really struggled with it. It's not just a narrative or a talking point from Democrats. He really has struggled with how to combat her. And I think going into that debate, he does not really want to do it. I think it's difficult, if not impossible, for him to pull out because his campaign manager had cards printed that said anywhere, anytime, any place for President Biden, and it would look weak, but I don't think he's looking forward to it.
So much for neutrality. Kaitlan and her paymasters at CNN love to preach about being fair, balanced, and totally unbiased. They'll swear up and down that they don't lean left or right, but their actions, they tell a completely different story. Here was Kaitlan already writing Trump off. Either he was going to pull out of the debate, or he was going to lose, not based on facts, not based on strategy, just pure unfiltered wishful thinking. She didn't even give him a fighting chance in the presidential race. She had it all figured out in her head, and in her world Trump was done. Well, reality had other plans. And he was watching all of this unfold, sizing up Kaitlan's predictable spin, waiting for just the right moment to strike. Because if there's one thing M does best, it's calling out the media's nonsense, and Kaitlan had no idea the hammer was about to drop. But before Maher's takedown, watch this clip. Then I'll share my 2 cents.
I'm pundit trying to analyze this stuff. But I do know that it's a very easy debate to win. So all you have to say is, look, you had 4 years, I had 4 years. When I was president, and when you were president, here's the difference. Gas prices are up 50% when you're vice president. Electricity prices up 30%. Grocery up 22%. The list keeps going. Taxes were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Regulations were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Immigration numbers way down. They actually tried to stop the problem. Record numbers under Biden and Harris. This is a very easy debate to win because on the metrics, it's very easy to show side by side.
Okay,
but that's what his campaign wants him to say. But Donald Trump it's not a campaign where you just give him his talking points and he goes out there and delivers them. Yeah. Donald Trump is his...
That's it. The debate was practically a layup for Trump. All he had to do was remind the American people how much better things were under his administration compared to the disaster that is Biden-Harris. The economy, border security, foreign policy, you name it, the contrast speaks for itself. So why on earth would Trump back out? What was Kaitlan even talking about? It's almost like she couldn't fathom the idea of Trump walking onto that debate stage and completely dominating. She had to create this alternate reality where he would either run scared or self-destruct. And just in case that narrative didn't hold up, she had a backup plan, dismissing his inevitable win before it even happened. She rained all over the parade before the balloons could even go up, confidently declaring that Trump would still lose because he would go off script. No proof pro, no logic, just pure anti-Trump talking points. It wasn't analysis, it was damage control. She knew what was coming, and so did Maher, and he was loving every second of it. Because here's the truth, Kaitlan and her CNN cronies refuse to admit Trump doesn't need a script. His entire political brand is built on authenticity, off-the-cuff remarks, and raw, unfiltered confidence. That's exactly why his supporters love him, and it's exactly why Kaitlan and the media elite despise him. He doesn't play by their rules, and he certainly doesn't need a teleprompter to win a debate. So when Kaitlan smugly dismissed Trump before he even stepped on stage, she wasn't just underestimating him, she was exposing her own bias, the same bias Maher was quietly observing, waiting for the perfect moment to expose. And when he did, let's just say Kaitlan wasn't ready for it.
You were on Stephen Colbert's show, and he said something like, you guys at CNN just report the news straight. And the crowd burst into laughter. Look, I'm on CNN now. I guess we're on it right now. I mean, they show this show the next night. I don't know how we get away with it with all the fucks, but they do. And all these dirty jokes. But I'm glad. And I'm a big rooter for CNN. But that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I mean, how do you guys think you are doing in that arena of like, this is a terribly divided country. We're not only politicized, a lot of people just hate the other side. And CNN, in my view, should be the place where both sides can watch. How do you think you're doing with that?
How is CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties. We'll have Elizabeth Warren on one night. We'll have
so-called token appearances are nothing more than a weak attempt to make CNN look like it's impartial. A quick guest spot here, a token conservative there. It's all just smoke and mirror bias. Because when you actually look at the numbers, the bias is crystal clear. How can you claim neutrality when the ratio of Democrats and leftists to Republicans on a panel is 4-1? That's not balance. That's an echo chamber. A rigged game where one side dominates the conversation while the token conservative is there for optics, just enough to give CNN cover when they are called out for their obvious bias. And let's be honest, even when CNN does invite a conservative, it's rarely someone who actually represents the heart of the movement. Instead, they bring in so-called Republicans who are either never-Trumpers, career establishment types, or people who agree with the left on most major issues. That way, CNN can still pat itself on the back for fairness while ensuring no real opposition shakes up the narrative. It's a tired old trick, and viewers see right through it. That's why CNN's ratings are circling the drain. People are fed up with the fake neutrality, the manufactured debates, and the shameless bias disguised as journalism. And yet Kaitlan and her network still have the audacity to act like they're the gold standard of balanced reporting. Sorry, but that illusion shattered a long time ago.
Being a place of credibility. I mean, look at what just happened in Chicago. We had 300 people from CNN on the ground covering that convention. There were several reporters from just our team alone on the floor, bringing it in real time to people. And I think CNN puts resources behind things and just brings a level of news that you don't get.
Let me tell you exactly why CNN had cameras, reporters, and correspondents all over the Republican convention. Kaitlan, it wasn't about fair coverage, it wasn't about journalism, it was about one thing and one thing only, waiting for a slip-up. CNN wasn't there to give the got fair airtime or to honestly report on the convention. They were there on a gotcha mission, waiting, watching, hoping for even the tiniest mistake from Trump or his allies so they could blast it across the airwaves. A fumbled word, headline news, an awkward pause, breaking story, a single protester outside, front page material. And let's not pretend otherwise. If they found nothing, they'd spin something. That's the playbook. They weren't there to report on policy discussions, conservative priorities, or the enthusiasm of the Republican base. No, that part would be glossed over, ignored, or twisted into some fear-mongering narrative about threats to democracy. Meanwhile, when Democrats hold their convention, CNN suddenly becomes a PR firm. No tough questions, no obsessive nitpick, just glowing coverage and fawning analysis. Every speech is historic, every moment is powerful, any controversy magically disappears. So no, Kaitlan, don't act like CNN was there to give fair and balanced coverage. You were there hunting for dote, and everyone knows it.
In America, and I'm watching CNN just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes. It's great, and then Lonely Scott. it does look, I mean, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. It's like it's almost better to have nobody there, like MSNBC, than to have this.
This Bill Maher calls it like he sees it, and he's right. Having nobody there is better than staging fake balance with token conservatives whose voices get drowned out the second they start speaking. It's all a performance, a carefully controlled illusion where the so-called opposition is outnumbered, interrupted, and sidelined just enough to maintain the charade of neutrality. And did Maher just compare CNN to The View? OOF. That's a new low even for them. Imagine once being the dominant force in cable news only to be lumped in with a daytime gossip panel where facts take a backseat to feelings and every conservative guest is treated like an enemy combatant. But honestly, the comparison is spot on. CNN has become a glorified talk show, just with flashier graphics and slightly more serious-looking anchors. The formula is the same: invite a token conservative, gang up on them, twist the narrative, and call it debate. It's not journalism, it's The View with a teleprompter. Maher didn't just expose CNN's bias, he exposed their irrelevance. A network that once shaped the news cycle is now a punchline, reduced to the same tired, predictable talking points that even liberals are getting sick of. And when Bill Maher of all people is calling you out, you know you've lost the plot. Bill Maher exposed CNN's bias, Kaitlan Collins' obsession with Trump, and the network's downfall into irrelevant EV. When even Maher sees through the ACT, you know CNN's credibility is beyond repair. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed our commentary, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.